Hello and welcome to another fascinating episode of Influence of the Times. As always, thank you so much for tuning in and for watching, and whether you're watching this broadcast live or whether you'll be watching this broadcast later today, a very special warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining me in this very next fascinating episode of Influence of the Times. Now, you probably remember, and if you cast your mind back to maybe just a couple of weeks ago, in fact probably 2 weeks ago or so, we did a live broadcast from our last location. We did a couple, in fact we did the DBM factory, we did one of Birmingham's recycled units, and we also did the Stourbridge, one of Stourbridge's abandoned mansions. And we also did Redditch Tunnel, which we did about a week and a half ago. We did Redditch Tunnel, and I took you actually into one of Redditch's last remaining abandoned and derelict railway tunnels. And you probably remember, I would imagine probably about 2 weeks ago, I actually did post some photographs, and those photographs contain some images of some of the locations that we would be visiting over the next couple of weeks and months. Now, I do appreciate that I don't think I actually included this location in those photographs. However, I am very pleased to say, as you can probably tell just by looking behind me, that we are at our next location. And now you have to bear with me because, one, it's absolutely freezing up here, but also I've done my best to remember all the information. So I'll do my best to try and remember all the dates and all the information that I've literally just read about 5 or 10 minutes ago. So I'll do my very best. So what we'll do is we'll do the talking bit first, and then we'll go and explore. So as I mentioned, welcome to episode 25. Now, I'm absolutely amazed at the fact that we've reached our 25th episode already, and it's amazing to think, as I keep saying, that we've been on air for almost a year. In fact, it'll be a year in June of this year. And it's amazing that we've nearly covered, and we're actually steaming towards our 30th episode. Now, I'm hoping to kind of tie in with our 30th episode to make it extra special for you. I'm hoping to bring you to a very, very special location. I want to tie it in with our 30th episode, but I also want to tie it in with coming up to the spring and the summertime. So the weather will be nice. So I'm hoping to take you to a very special location. In fact, it's a location which will be the furthest that Influence of the Times has ever travelled anywhere in the whole series, just to take you to the 30th to our 30th live episode. Now, I'm hoping if I can do it, that it will be in two parts. So it will be part 1 and part 2, simply because the location is absolutely massive and it's a fascinating place to be. So I'm going to try my best to tie in episode 30 and make it extra special for you, to take you the furthest that Influence of the Times has ever travelled, but also somewhere extra special because it has a meaning to myself, but all will be revealed as and when we get nearer to the time. So I'm not going to give any clues, but hopefully I'll be able to tie that 30th episode there. So we're already at our 25th episode. Now, where am we? You can probably tell just by looking at behind me that we're at our next location. You can probably see that we're actually quite high up. Now, all the episodes that Influence of the Times has done so far have been abandoned factories or tunnels and that kind of thing, and this will be the first location that Influence of the Times has ever broadcast from somewhere slightly different. Now, I've actually brought you over 100 miles north of Birmingham. So obviously it meant getting up at the crack of dawn this morning to get here nice and early so that you can have a really good view and we can have a good look about. So we've got plenty of time to have a look around. So I've brought you over 100 miles north of Birmingham, and we're back at Steel City. Now, if you cast your minds back to the 20th episode, we did a 2-part live episode of Influence of the Times from one of Sheffield's massive factories, which was the Dyson Ceramics factory, which is actually about an hour's walk away from where I am today. So that will give you an idea of where we am. So I've brought you back to Steel City, to Sheffield, and I'm standing, not only am I standing in our next location, I'm actually standing on top of it, and you can probably tell just by looking behind me, over my shoulder, that we are indeed standing on this location. So, without further ado, welcome to episode 25 of Influence of the Times, in this fascinating series that I will be taking you all over the United Kingdom. I've said many, many times, I'm going to be taking you all over the United Kingdom to every single abandoned derelict location I can possibly find, including this one. This has got to be one of Sheffield's most famous abandoned and derelict locations. Now, without further ado, welcome to Hallam Towers Hotel in Sheffield. Now this particular hotel is about 15 minutes walk away from Sheffield city centre, and I'm currently standing on the 12th floor. Okay, so I'm currently standing on the 12th floor, which is right on the roof. And if I just give you a little bit of a look about, and then we'll do a bit of a talking kind of thing, and I'll give you some history behind the place. Now some people who are watching this may have already heard of this location, maybe you know of it, maybe you've seen it, I don't know. But this has got to be one of Sheffield's most famous abandoned, I say famous, most well-known abandoned and derelict places, and this is certainly one place that I really did want to bring you today, simply because I've got some time off work and I'd heard so much about this place, and there is so much about this place on YouTube, on everything else. There's lots and lots and lots of different people who have visited this location. It was only appropriate and it was only fair that I brought you here as well, so that you can see what it's like in the present day. Now some of the stuff that's on YouTube is quite recent anyway. You're more than welcome as always to Google Hallam Towers Hotel on Google, or look on YouTube. There's lots and lots of different videos on there about this place. There's people that have already been exploring, and some are quite recent, within the last 2 to 3 weeks or so, but I wanted to bring you here today. So this is the present day, so we'll go and have a look in a minute anyway. So here we are on the 12th floor. I say the 12th floor, on the roof. So I'll just give you a bit of a look about. So that's up onto the roof, and I'll just give you a bit of a look about. So you can see the view from up here is absolutely unbelievable. It's fantastic. I can see the whole of Sheffield from up here. It's a spectacular view. It really, really is. Obviously I'm not going to take you any further to the edge because that would be dangerous, but it is absolutely amazing from up here. The view is, I can see for miles. I can see all of Sheffield. I can see right over into the hills, and I can even see towards the direction of where the Dyson Ceramics factory is, about an hour's walk from here. I'm hoping the signal is going to stay strong. I'm hoping we're going to get a good signal. Hopefully we will. Once we go back through that way, back through the roof, we'll go down there and I'll take you all the way down to the reception area, and then we'll finish the broadcast. So I'll try and make it as an interesting for you as possible. Now you'll have to bear with me if it's a bit shaky. It's because my hand is freezing. It is icy cold up here, but it's worth it because, as you can see, what a view. Now as always, I've taken lots and lots and lots of photographs, I've taken a couple outside just before I came in, but I've taken lots of photographs inside, but we'll have a good look around anyway. Now just to give you an idea of what it's like inside, most of the floors are identical. Okay, so once you've seen a few floors, they're all pretty much the same. Okay, but we'll have a look in a minute anyway. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to scroll. I can see lots of people watching across the bottom, so thank you so much for joining me. Influences of Times, episode 25 at the Hallam Towers Hotel in Sheffield. So I'm just going to swipe all these things across the side. There we go. Now I can see a bit better. So let's do the historical information. As always, you're more than welcome to Google this place anyway, and some of the information you might have already read, who knows. But anyway, so all the photographs that I've taken today, along with this broadcast, will be on my Facebook page. My own personal one will also be on the Influences of Times Facebook page, and will also be on my YouTube channel, Influences of Times. And just very, very quickly, for those of you who haven't seen, you probably know, if you haven't seen, and even if you did see, I posted a status on my Facebook last night. Cam Drone Photography has got its very own app. I spent a couple of days, hard, kind of like intense, building this app. I wanted to make an app for cam drone photography, free of charge. It's free to download. If you go onto my Facebook page, and if you go onto the Influences of Times, or even the Cam Drone Photography Facebook page, you can download the app free of charge. It's not an all singing, all dancing app. It's quite basic, quite straightforward. However, you will be able to keep up to date with Influences of the Times, or should I say Cam Drone Photography, on the go. So rather than have a computer or anything else, you can simply download the app onto your phone. It's for iPhone and for Android, so it doesn't matter what device you've got. You'll be able to download the app, and you'll be able to keep up to date, and you will be able to basically keep up to date with me on the go. How cool is that? So I'm well pleased that I've got my very own app. So let's get cracking. Let's start talking because my hands are icy. Now I'm going to try and remember off the top of my head. Okay, so just bear with me, and you'll have to forgive me if I keep spinning around. I'm kind of just trying to make it a bit more interesting for you. Okay, so this hotel was originally built in 1963. If I remember correctly, it was originally built in 1963 by a guy named and designed by a gentleman named Nelson Foley. So it's Nelson Foley. So it was originally built around about the 1963 mark. cost of £1 million. Okay. It was designed with 11 floors and 132 bedrooms. It roughly hired 150 members of staff. Okay, and it's roughly, as I mentioned, about 15-20 minutes away from the city centre. So it was built far away from the city centre to give people, if you like, to kind of move away from the city, but at the same time close enough to get to the city reasonably easy, because it's actually quite easy to walk. And public transport runs past here anyway. So it was originally built in 1963, I believe. It opened only a couple of years later. I think it was something like 4 years later. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So roughly about 67-ish, I believe. Or should I say, hang on, let me just bear with me. Opened a couple of years later, so 63 it was designed. 63, I think it was actually about 64, 65 it opened. So I'm just trying to remember everything off the top of my head, because I've literally read it about 10 minutes and I'm trying to remember it all. So roughly about 65-ish, it opened about a year or two or so later. Okay. In 1966 was when it was the Swiss football teams. You remember, 1966 we had the football cup, or the World Cup, at the Hillsborough Stadium. The Swiss football team actually stayed in this hotel. Okay, so they actually stayed in. It doesn't say what floor and it doesn't say which rooms, but the Swiss football team stayed here. In 1970 it was taken over. So roughly about 1970 it was taken over, and in the floors downstairs now, I believe in the first couple of floors, it doesn't say which floors, but I believe the first couple, when the hotel opened, they had what was called the Vulcan Room. Now the Vulcan Room was a restaurant, and it was specifically designed in a certain colour. So it was orange, pale yellow. It said it was like a brown, sort of pale brown wallpaper, and had a very kind of like modern look to it. So that was on the first couple of floors. You had the Vulcan Room, and it was a restaurant, a very plush restaurant. You also had what they called the Sheffield Buffet, or Buffeteria, which was downstairs near the ground floor, and that was also modernised and made quite plush and luxurious and everything else. Now this particular hotel was classed as a 4-star hotel, so it was a very, very luxurious hotel, and as I mentioned, it was one of Sheffield's most famous, most well-known luxurious hotels, and in its time it was the most luxurious hotel just after the Second World War. Okay, so we got 1966 when the Swiss World Cup team stayed here. 1970 when it was taken over, and I think it was like in 1972 or something, they spent £750,000 on a refurbishment. So they refurbished the hotel. Now, somewhere in that era, in the I believe it was in the 1970s, I can't remember the exact date because there's quite a few dates to remember. I think it was like 76 or something like that. They actually wanted to move away from kind of feel of the kind of clientele that we used to stay here. Quite a few, I say famous people. Sheffield Wednesday football team actually stayed here, along with a boxer. Now I can't remember the boxer's name, but a well-known boxer, stayed here as well. The manager of the Sheffield Wednesday football team in the 1960s also stayed here as well. Okay. So we got up to the 1970s. So they moved away from the kind of design and clientele, and they began to allow rock bands to stay here. So roughly in the 1970s, so a lot of rock bands stayed here. However, they had to be dressed appropriately. They were not allowed to swear anywhere in the hotel, and they had to behave and basically not have any parties. So that's just to give you kind of a bit of information there. Now in 1984, a Daily Mail proprietor, his name was Robert Maxwell, had a secret meeting on one of the top floors with Arthur Scargill, and it was to do with the strikes. They had a secret meeting up here, and apparently it went wrong, and the Daily Mail then went against the strike. Okay, so that's just kind of giving another bit of information. So they had this secret meeting somewhere on one of the top floors, and the meeting apparently didn't go too well, and that's what happened. Now in 2000, I believe it's something like 2009, which is when this hotel became abandoned and derelict. So that's when this hotel was no longer used. 2009, and been abandoned derelict, everything. Now, it does mention a couple of dates. It mentions some, I think it was like the 13th of April 2009 when this hotel closed. The reason, it doesn't actually say why it closed. Reports suggest that it was because of the competition, obviously through, you know, you can imagine in 2009 you've got things like Travelodges, you've got all these cheaper budget hotels coming up, so you've got a lot of competition. Things change, times change anyway, so I would imagine that's probably one of the possibilities why this hotel closed, but it doesn't say specifically why. A lot of the staff that worked here have now moved to another hotel nearby. Okay, and I'm not going to mention that particular place, but it does mention that they've moved. Not everybody, but some of the staff that worked here moved to there. In 2009, a bid, or should I say a company, put a bid in for this place for £6.3 million. So it was first built in 1963 for £1 million, and in the 2000s, so we're talking like 2009, maybe 2010ish. It was a bid, or it was bought for £6.3 million. So just to give you an idea. Now it's still abandoned, obviously, in the derelict, as you can see, to this very day. However, plans are in place to completely demolish and knock down this hotel and build 136 or 132 apartments in this particular. I don't mean actually replace this hotel, as in like refurbish it, but completely demolish it and build 132 apartments here, as well as other things. Now, if you cast your mind back to what I said about the rock bands in the 1970s, they actually built a gymnasium, and that was another reason why this hotel was quite popular, is because they had a gymnasium. Now, I've looked at some old photographs of this hotel, and believe you me, back in the 1960s when it first opened, I can understand why this was a 4-star hotel. Now, me and you know, at hotels today, you've got TV, you've got ensuite bathrooms, you've got, you know, all the bits and pieces, but back in the 1960s this really was a luxurious 4-star hotel. It was absolutely amazing to think that it was this hotel. Now, what I will do, along with the photographs that I've taken, I will put the old photographs on Facebook as well, so you actually be able to see what it used to look like. There's not many, but there is a couple, so you can actually see what it used to be like. The rooms in its heyday were decorated, as you can imagine, 1960s, with oranges, greens, yellows and pale browns, so more kind of like subtle colours. It's very plush, huge big double beds. The old-fashioned telephones, I don't mean the dial ones, but on the wall, fitted in with all wooden panelling, so everything was wooden panelled. A TV in your room, you had your fridge with all your drink and everything else. So in its heyday, it really was a luxurious hotel. It was the place to stay. Now, I'm not going to say too much about another place, but there is another hotel that is not far away from here in Sheffield itself, and it's already to this very, very day in the process of, so literally I walked past it this morning, the Grosvenor Hotel. That was another abandoned and derelict, very well-known hotel in Sheffield that has actually been demolished. In fact, it's floored completely, there's nothing left. However, when I walked past it today, they were in the process of just breaking up the last bits of rubble. So there is another hotel that was abandoned and derelict, and it's actually in the city centre, called the Grosvenor Hotel, and it was another hotel similar to this one. Okay, so it was very luxurious, very plush and everything else. So that's kind of briefly the information for you. I was kind of like doing my best to kind of remember everything, but you're more than welcome to Google anyway, and you'll be able to read all about it anyway, but pretty much what I've told you is the historical information about this place. So there we go. So that's the information. So how's about I get out the cold, because you can probably tell I'm absolutely freezing, my hands are numb. We'll go through and I'll take you and show you around all the different bits and pieces. So how's about we go and have a look around Hallam Towers in Sheffield. So bear with me, because we've got to kind of go through there. So I'll give you one last look just so you can see. This is right at the top. So there's Sheffield over there, and you can kind of see the view. So it is amazing view, absolutely amazing. Okay, so let's climb through here. So just bear with me, because I'm going to have to kind of do it this way so I don't catch anything. Okay, so now it is. Oh, that's better. So nice to get out of that cold. Oh. Sorry, I am so cold. My hands are just absolutely, you know, when it's like to the point where your fingers are numb. That's what they're like. Okay, so we've come through that little hatchway. So that's where we were just a minute ago. So we're now at the very top. Now this is where all the extractor fan stuff is. So you can probably see just by looking behind me, you've got these enormous big metal things. This is where all the air conditioning and all the hot air and cool and everything else. This is literally kind of like the roof part of the hotel. So let's go for a walk. So it's dark. I did bring a torch, but I'm hoping we're not really going to need it. But just bear with me. I can see it's dark, but just bear with me. I am still here. I don't think you can see it, but I'm going to try and give you an eye. I don't know if you can see. You can't really see. So we're literally walking past massive, great, big, huge. You can see it. Look. So this is like the great big extractor fan outlets up here. Great big ones. You can probably hear lots of pigeons are up here as well. They've been keeping me company while I've been doing some research. So you can probably see, just if I just show you. So you've got all the extractor fans, and it literally runs all the way down there to the other end and out through the roof. So we'll just go through this round. We're not gonna go back outside, but I just want to just spin this around. You can hear the pigeons. See? Okay. So you've got lots of different outlets and stuff. So you can see it all here. And then you've got all that on there as well. Now, I'm not going to be able to show you because it is just too dark. My torch is in my bag, and it means I've got to take my bag off and kind of faff a bit. But if you can't really see. I've taken some pictures in there, in that dark room. There's a metal staircase, and if you go up it, you've actually got the motors. There's two massive, great big motors with pulley wheels and a huge cabinet, which was the electrical unit which controlled the lift shafts. So there was two lifts here, all the way from reception, all the way to the top floor. And as we go down, you'll be able to see the lifts. You'll be able to, we'll have a look anyway. But in that room, you've got this huge, great big cabinet, and it's literally just. Obviously, you've got all the little buttons and wires and everything else, and that would have controlled the electricity, the main electrical panel, if you like, for the hotel. But actually, you've got two big, massive lift motors or generators with like the great big pulley wheels and the great big metal cables that would have moved the lifts up and down. But I've taken some photographs. Like I said, well, I won't take you in there because it's absolutely pitch black. But I did take some photographs in there earlier, so you'll be able to see them on my Facebook page later. But that's what's in there. Okay. Now I'm just trying to remember how we got in here. I think it was, where was it? Okay. Appear to be, was it through here? Okay. I actually got a bit lost then. Yeah, here we go. So we're going to come out of the roof part. I'm going to go into the hotel bit. So I'm going to hold on to my phone because I won't fall. No, maybe not. I was going to show you down the stairs, but no. I won't, just in case, because not my luck, my phone will fall. Okay, so we'll come down the stairs and I'll show you the floors. Okay, so you've got this. Now, I don't know what this was used for. Now, I don't know if that was used for, if you like, I say room service, but for transporting food between each floor, or whether it was for laundry. It might be a laundry lift, but it's a small lift. I've taken a picture in there looking all the way down to the very bottom, because I don't know if the lift is up, stuck at the top, or right at the very bottom, but it's pitch black. But I took a picture in there anyway, looking straight down the shaft. But that might have been used for the linen or for food. I could imagine possibly linen, something like that, the laundry side of it. But that's what that is. So that's the staircase that we went up to the roof. And you can see that would have been what looks like the goods lift. Most hotels have some kind of service lift or goods lift. I know in the hotel that I work in, we've got a service lift which will take it all the way down to the basement, which is where they can obviously you know, rubbish and laundering, that kind of thing. So I'm assuming that's probably the goods lift or the service lift, because it's got that metal griddle across the front. So that's what that is. Like I said, most of the floors look identical. Okay, and there's not a lot to see. There's no rooms. It's just been knocked all the way through, basically, but you can kind of get an idea. Okay, so that's looking to one end. So we're on the 11th floor, looking to one end. You see the different rooms. You've got a big, massive, I say massive, that could have been 2 rooms, one there, one that side, and one that side. As we go down, some, not much, but only some of the original wood panelling is still left. So there's not much to see. But I just had to bring you in because I've always wanted to come to Hallam Towers and bring you in here and include it in the series. So that's looking that way. So we would have had 1, 2, 3, possibly 3 or 4 rooms down there. This obviously would have been another one. Now this could have been, because it's tiled over there, I'm wondering, and there's also tiles on the floor, so I'm wondering if this could have been, it could have been something to do with showers, toilets, bathrooms, that kind of thing. But I'm sure you may have had an ensuite bathroom anyway, so that could have been part of that. I don't know. There's no photographs of the actual. There's only one photograph, I think, of the original rooms, how they used to look, but it doesn't really show anything else. So I could be wrong, but because it's tiled, that may have something to do with part of the room, or maybe part of, maybe had like, you know, if there was a number of showers or toilets or bathrooms to use, and guests would use those, like kind of a communal kind of bathroom. So if I spin you around, so you've got the lift. Now, that lift is still there. I don't know about that one, but this one, let's go and have a look. This lift is still here. And you can just see, there it is there. So it's right up here on the 11th floor. So that's one of the lifts that's still here. And you've got the other lift for the guests there. And if you look, if I show you, you can kind of get an idea of just how big this hotel is. So all the way down to the other end there, you've got the rooms. So you can kind of make out where the walls are, how big the rooms would have been. So if I take you through this one, for instance, you can see one room, another room. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 rooms on each side in each floor. So that's 12 rooms on a floor. But I could be wrong. They may have been smaller. But I'm just kind of, and judging by their size, they were quite big. You've got the original wallpaper just in between the graffiti. It's kind of like orange checkered and that wall paneling, but you can see the view that they would have had. So those are the original windows. But that's kind of, and you can see just by looking on the floor, there isn't really a lot left. So this is the 11th floor. So what we'll do is we'll go down each floor. Like I said, pretty much the same. But if I just show you the window, you can kind of get an idea. But the view is just amazing, absolutely amazing. You can see everything. So just come down the stairs. I'm just going to adjust. There. That's better. I'm just going to tighten it a bit. I think that's all right. Okay. So again, you've got lifts, and some floors have got more rubble than others, so we've got to be a little bit careful. But again, you can kind of see. If I just take you up this way, so you've got another room, and then we walk to the end here. Now, this one's got quite a lot of rubble. You can kind of see how much stuff there is. So I'll give you an idea, and if I look just behind us, so you just see, in fact, let's take a walk down the other end, because I haven't done that yet. So yeah, you can see, by counting the amount of walls, there's quite a few. Either rooms on either side, so I'm saying it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, about 6 rooms, roughly, ish. I'm just going to step over this. So this would have been another room here. So you can see where the wall would have been just down there on the floor. So there would have been quite big rooms. Another two on this side, so you've got the staircase going up. Just to go down the other end here and have a look. So I'm hoping you're finding this interesting. Every floor is the same, but I want to take you from top to bottom, just to give you an idea. So you can see how they had like a built-in kind of area there. And the same on this side as well. Like you can see they had a built-in kind of like cupboard thing, storage area or something. I don't think there's... Aha. Okay. Let's have a look this way, look. I'll show you. So to me that looks like what's left of the bathroom or toilet. So you've got the original floor tiles and wall tiles still there. So that's probably what that would have been, a shower or a bathroom of some kind. And then you've got, wow, small room here, cloud view. And you walk through this doorway. Go through here. Aha, here we go. There's a bit more of the original stuff. So have a look at this room. It's the first time I've seen this. Can you see the original wallpaper and the panelling? It's like a desk area just on the wall there. So you've got the wallpaper at the end. And you've got like this little, obviously that would have covered that metal thing, but you've got the original wooden panelling on the walls is still there. Like I said, the wallpaper is still on the walls as well. And you had like a patio door or balcony door, so that goes on to the balcony. You had a view out there. So I don't think every room, but I think the rooms on the ends had the balcony. Here's the radiator. So this would have been something like living room or kind of like that kind of thing. So this looks quite big room actually. So yeah, let's go through this way. We've got lots of stuff. You know, just got to be a bit careful here. So again, we've got another kind of like shower. So you've got the tiles still on the walls. There. Fascinating. Right. Okay. There we go. Just got to navigate through there. Just got to be careful. There we go. Okay. So there you go. So you can have a look at that. So what I'll do now is I'll take you down a couple more floors, right down to the basement, and then we'll finish. So we'll just come through this way. Walk very carefully across here. That's it. There we go. Let's go down the stairs. So that would have been the 10th floor. So we're now on we're coming down to the 9th. So pretty much everything's the same. So if we come through this little room here, you can see the lifts and how that one is open. Now I'm not going to get too close, so don't worry. Okay, I'm not going to get too close. But if I hold on to you, have a see if you can have a look. So you've got the lift shaft, and it literally goes. See it all the way down there? So those are what's left of the lift cables. So that's the lift shaft, and it literally goes all the way down there. I'm not going to get any closer, but that kind of just gives you a bit of an idea. Remember, the lift was up on the 11th floor, so that's the lift shafts. So again, pretty much it's the same. You can see it's pretty much the same all the way through. Same design. You've got the tiles. You can see all the graffiti in this hotel. This hotel is completely just covered in graffiti on every room, on every floor. So you can see just how many people have actually been here. And if you go onto YouTube, then you'll see why anyway. There's just lots and lots of videos about this hotel, about this particular location. So again, you've got another great big room here. Got another one that side. You can see I'm kind of like not rattling through it, but I'm not spending too much time because it's pretty much the same. And I don't want you to get bored because you're just looking at empty open rooms really that look pretty much the same. But I do want to take you to every floor. Okay, so you've got one of the original, yeah. One of the doors on the floor. Let's just walk across. So again, it's pretty much the same as before. We had, so you've got like the tiles. You can see all the graffiti. Got all the tiles on the wall, wallpaper, and then you go out, which I'm not going to do. You can go through that door onto the balcony, have a look at the view, which you can probably see. Anyway, and then we've got just another room. As you can see the wallpaper. That's another room. Then you have like the bathroom and things again on the end with the tiles and stuff. In fact, this one's still got the metal. That there is the old towel rails. Remember they used to heat up and you hung your tiles over to dry them. So the towel rail's still there. That would have been attached just on those metal things on the wall. And you've got shaving plug just there. So yeah, that would have been the toilet and the bathroom area. It's amazing to think that these are actual. I've just spotted something on the floor. Just bear with me. Have a look. Oh. See that? That's one of the original bins. It's quite heavy because it's metal, but that is actually one of the original litter bins, or not litter bins, but one of the bins that would have been in this room, or one of the rooms. And it's like it's not velvet. It's like I said, it's really heavy because I can see it's metal, but it's got like a kind of wallpaper design around the outside. So yeah, so that's actually one of the room bins. But it's amazing to think that I'm standing where guests would have been. I mean, I don't know how many people would have stayed in this hotel in the time it was open. Hundreds, thousands. And what kind of people stayed here? You know, were they? Obviously, we know about the Swiss football team for the 1966 World Cup at the Hillsborough Stadium. We know that Arthur Scargill had a meeting with Robert Maxwell, who was a Daily Mirror proprietor here, somewhere in these top floors. So we had a secret private meeting. So it just makes me think, what kind of people would have walked through these corridors? You know, what were they? Well-off people? Were they famous? Were they well-known? Celebrities? About rock bands, like rock band stars. I don't know. It doesn't give you too much information about who stayed here, but it's amazing to think that this is what's left of a hotel, and it is a massive hotel. If you go outside, it's this huge block. Looks like a block of flats. It's massive, and the reception area was all in its heyday. Was, you know, you had like the concierge. You had the guy who was waiting at the bottom, you know, and he sort of made sure everything was okay and sort of did things and that, you know. And it's just absolutely. And he was there with a bow tie, a shirt, and like not the waistcoat, but like a coat and stuff, looking very smart. It's just fascinating to think that this is a hotel. And when you look at it now, it's just, well, you can see anyway. There's not a strange feeling to this place, and I know often I say about how places feel. And I know I've mentioned that a lot of abandoned places, they don't smell. There's no smell, but I don't know. There's not an eerie feeling to this place. There's more of a strange feeling because you know it's a hotel and it's abandoned and I don't know. Anyway, let's go and have a look some more. Let's go and have a look some more. I'll go down the stair, have a look at some more floors, and then we'll finish. Because there's not really much else I can show you. So I'm going to go down the next couple of floors. I'm not going to miss any out, but I'm just going to go down each floor quite quickly. So once you've seen one, you've seen them all really. So you've got 2 flights of steps. You've got the middle flight, which is directly next to the lifts, and you've got the one, I think there actually might be, no, I think there is only just one. You've got the flight of stairs, which is kind of the opposite side as well. So we're now on about the 7th or 8th floor, but again, it's pretty much the same. The lifts, and then again you've got rooms either side. So I don't know if each floor was differently coloured. It's possible. And this is the floor that's got some of the original, when I say original, kind of like panelling. So if you look, you've got 2 like closet things either side. So it would have been one room, another room, windows in the middle. But you've got like there and there. Still there. You've got that bit as well. That's really all that's left. Like I said, there's just nothing. I mean, obviously it's just completely gutted. So let's go down some further. I think we're nearly at the bottom. Yeah, nearly almost. Just going to show you. If I just do, you see how far we've come down, and I don't know if you can make out. Well, you can just see the bottom, look, just down there, look. So you can see just how many floors there are. Okay. So the same again, really. You've got just the lifts and more rooms. Now it does say that in something like 2000 and I think it was like 2016, so last year, this hotel did see a fire. I don't think it was a very, very big one, but it does say that this hotel suffered a fire, or was the scene of a fire. It might have been here actually. Take a look up there, can you see? So this might have been where the fire was started, but that's about the only fire damage here. Now, a lot of the abandoned derelict locations that I've brought you to, there is substantial or significant fire damage, but this is probably one of those places that I haven't actually seen a lot of fire damage. Bearing in mind, a lot of this place is concrete and that kind of thing anyway, so it wouldn't actually burn. But anyway, so let's go down to the next floor. Just conscious of time, because obviously there's not really much else I can show you. So just coming down. So we're getting quite low now, and you can probably see it just by looking out the windows. I don't know if you can see it. We're not as high anymore. So this is probably about the 5th or 6th floor. Again, exactly the same. So it's the same on every floor. So that's pretty much it. What I might do is I might just take it all the way down to the base. Well, I say basement, taking them to the bottom. Because it's pretty much the same. Pretty much the same, to be honest. Pretty much the same. So this, okay, it looks like the first few floors of this hotel have got I say cleaner. They've had more clear out, so you can see how there's not as much. You can see how it looks kind of cleaner. As you go up, there's more in the way of glass, debris, graffiti. Well, maybe not graffiti. There's graffiti everywhere. But as you go up, there's more stuff lying about. There's more rubble. But as you come down, it's more like clearer. You can see there's not as much stuff. if I just show you, it's like, you see how it's like bare concrete? And yet if you go to the next floor up or the next one above that, it was all cluttered and stuff, wasn't it? There you go. Right. Let's go down some stairs, I think. Oh, we're almost at the bottom. We're almost there. Okay. Oh, what that is on the floor there. Just looking at that. No idea what that is. Don't know. It's got a lot of paneling and stuff. There. So again, you've got the lift shaft. The lift is right at the top. I'm not gonna piss. I'll give you a look up. All right, just bear with me. Have a look. There you go. As you can see. Now that's not the lift up there. That's just looking into darkness. But the lift is all the way at the top, on the 11th floor. So that's the lift shaft. So you were in there. I think it would have been a long time waiting for the lift. And again, we've just got more empty rooms, look. We've got, that looks like one of those, I don't know. You know what, do you know what I'm thinking of? Like almost like a bakery, you know when you have like bakery or hot meals. It hasn't got wheels on it, it's got feet. That looks like a hot meal oven or a hot meal something from the kitchen, because it's got an on-off switch there. Just there. It's got an on-off switch. So yeah, that looks like it could have been used for hot food or something, keeping it warm. And then you've got the, do you remember those generator things? Remember when we were in the roof and we had those great big extractor fan things? They run up through the wall up there. They go all the way to the top. Right, let's go to the bottom. Okay, so we are literally now near the bottom. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you. Can you see that? That would have been the reception area. Believe it or not, that's part of, as you came in, you had this beautiful coved reception area, and that's the main entrance. Well, no, I don't mean like that, but if you when I put the photographs on Facebook, you'll see that the front of the building comes out on stilts, almost like on legs, on pillars or stilts. So it's kind of like sitting. So you've got like the main block at the back of it, and then you've got the. As you drove up to Hallam Towers Hotel, you drove up underneath this big stilted main entrance, and then you came into the reception area, and it was all plush and decorated, and you had the great big 1960s kind of like huge lampshades hanging up, and you know you had like the I don't know what they call them. Let me just think. Almost like just trying to think. I'm just very quickly trying to think of a design. Almost like not a cup shape. If you can think of like 1960s chairs, they were like those the moon style chairs. Does that kind of ring a bell, or does that sound about right? Like the moon style chairs, they were kind of like that you sat in, and they kind of just like swiveled on big metal feet, on one big metal foot in the middle, that kind of thing. That's what it was like when it came in. And then you had the guy standing. He was standing in there, the concierge or one of the members of staff was standing kind of over there. It's just amazing to think that this is it. This is it. This is it. It's it. It's just it. So I'm being really stupid today, sorry. So here we have, I don't know what this was. I don't know if this was like a lounge area, but you can see we're standing right on the edge. You can see just by my feet there. So we're standing right on the edge of it, really. So you can just see there, look. looks like a great big empty lounge area or something. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm literally just almost like one floor above the ground, really. So let me take you down here. This is a bit of a tight squeeze. So just bear with me while I very carefully navigate. That's it. You can see why. So yeah, that's kind of like the back of the reception area. You've got like a curved kind of shape. And there we go. We are now standing in the very bottom, ground floor. Welcome to Hallam Towers. Make yourself comfortable. Have a drink. Have something to eat. Yeah, enjoy your stay. So that's where we came from, all the way there. So yeah, this is kind of like the ground floor. So maybe this wasn't part. Maybe this was part that guests would see, because it looks like it was behind. You know, obviously behind the reception area. So maybe this was more secluded, so backstage, that kind of thing. You know, so it could have been storage, or it could have been offices or anything. You've got windows across there, just behind the pillar, and then you've got that must have been a massive window or something. I don't know. So we're literally right at the ground floor. So that's it, Hallam Towers. I don't think there's really anything else I can show you. You've pretty much seen it all, and I know that wasn't really a lot to see, was it? But okay, let's just go through this way. I'm just getting my bearings. So again, we've got like something there. There's a goods lift. That's where the goods lift would have been. I'm just coming down the stairs now. I'm just coming right to the very bottom. Okay, so this is it. This is as far as we can go before we... Right, so that's it. That's where we came from. That's how you get up into the hotel. We've got the goods lift there, and this is kind of like underneath. Well, I say not underneath, like an underground, but I don't know what would have been here. I don't know. It's just full of rubble. You can kind of see it's just bricked up. Well, not bricked up. That's a big tree trunk. That's the tree. So that's how it's kind of like been left. Okay, so I'm going to finish there. So hopefully you found this interesting. Thank you to everybody, to all of you who are watching this live broadcast, and as I mentioned, whether you're watching this now or later today or another time, hopefully you will find it interesting. Hopefully you did. I just had to bring you to Hallam Towers Hotel because I did put a post, I think it was perhaps even before Christmas time, that we would be coming to a 1960s hotel, and this is it. And it's one of Sheffield's most well-known abandoned and derelict locations, as well as one of Sheffield's most famous or most well-known hotels. So yes, hopefully you found this interesting. Thank you for joining me in Visitor Times for episode 25 in this fascinating series that we'll be covering over the next weeks, months, and certainly into next year, because we have got the rest of the United Kingdom to bring you. So we've got lots to look forward to. So stay tuned. Now I'm hoping, I'm here for the day, so I'm hoping that sometime this afternoon, it will probably be, I don't know what time it is now, but it will be probably afternoon time, so maybe 2-3 o'clock-ish, something like that. I'm hoping I'm going to be at my next location. So I will be at my next location. I'm not going to give you any clues, I'm not going to tell you where we are, where we're going to be, but I will be at my next location. It'll be episode 26, so hopefully I will see you later today. Okay, now if I can't do it, and if I can't, you know, for whatever reason, if I can't do it, then obviously it won't happen. But if I can, hopefully you will join me right here, live on Facebook, later today for episode 26 from a completely different location. So if I see you, if I don't see you later today, then I will see you very, very soon. Stay tuned, keep watching Infinite Times, and another episode will be coming to you either later today, and if you don't watch that one, then I will see you over the next couple of weeks. Now, I've got a week off this week, but I'm not going to be doing all live episodes this week, because obviously I'm doing my drone photography and everything else and filmmaking, so I'm quite busy, and I want some time off. But so if I don't see you later today, hopefully you will join me later today. But if I don't see you later today, then hopefully these broadcasts will find you at another time. And hopefully I will see you very soon anyway, as we bring you to episode 20, either 26 if we can't do this afternoon, or it will be episode 27 from another location, which will be somewhere else I've got in mind, which will be totally different from this place. I'm not going to give any clues as to where that is, because I want you to tune in and find out. That will be in the next couple of weeks, because I have got a bit more time off. So hopefully you'll join me for that as well. So until then, from me and from Hallam Towers, what's left of it. Until the next time, if I don't see you later today, take care, enjoy the rest of your day, have a fantastic weekend. God bless you, take care, and thank you for joining me as we continue to go in search of Britain's most abandoned, derelict places. Till then, bye for now.